Hello, people of the internet. My name is John. To my friends, I'm known as Johnny Flynn. I am in the very early stages of starting this podcast. Um, it's right now just about having fun. Um, Basically, the reason I wanted to start this podcast was I'm a fitness coach, have been for the last maybe 3-4 years. Love going to the gym, love meeting people through the gym and enjoying those experiences. And I just wanted a platform to kind of share my thoughts on all things fitness. And, it might not always be fitness things. We'll talk about random stuff as well from time to time. But yeah, it's just about having fun. So, as I said, it's me here. From time to time, we will have other people on. So behind the camera is my beautiful fiance, Amy.
Hi.
Do you want to give people a quick intro into yourself? You don't have to. Amy's a bit shy, so she's not on the camera at the moment, but that's okay. So, Amy is a nail technician / hairstylist / most beautiful lady ever. And yeah, she is going to be helping me out from time to time on this podcast because sometimes I do tend to waffle. And yeah, look, that's all part of the process when it comes to getting better at doing this podcast and things. So mistakes are going to be made. It's not going to be perfect. But yeah, we're going to try and enjoy it as much as we can. So, basically, I'll start off with. I have kind of notes here, but I'm going to jump in with something else that's not in my notes, and it probably should have been, and that's how I actually got into fitness and the gym and all that. So basically, start from the beginning. Around 2017, I want to say, I went through a not so nice breakup at the time. And for me, I think I probably, as a result of that, just wanted to distract myself and threw myself into something else. And that something else was the gym. So I joined my local powerlifting gym, which unfortunately is no longer in existence here in Waterford. Owned and run by David Toomey. Shout out to David. And yeah, I actually enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I was going to, because I was never a gym person before that. I really started enjoying back squats, deadlifts, bench press. I was down in the gym so often that David, the owner, gave me a key. And yeah, I just kind of, whenever I had time, I'd be squeezing in a workout, and yeah, just really, really loved it and got kind of very consumed by it all. And then I suppose a couple of months into that training, I discovered the phenomenon known as CrossFit. Saw a load of videos on YouTube, like especially this was kind of like peak CrossFit Games as well. So I really started to enjoy that. I started watching videos of the events, and for anyone who knows, like CrossFit, and when it's televised, it's a long show. It's like hours upon end of fitness. But that was my day really, for whenever I wasn't working. It was what I did. I went home and I watched CrossFit, and I loved it. Looked up to, guys like Matt Fraser and Pat Vellner and all those kind of guys. But yeah, it really clicked with me. And even kind of before, like, I started to kind of love CrossFit specifically. The reason I wanted to do CrossFit not only was to get fitter and stronger in different ways, but I actually wanted to be a professional wrestler. I'm now and have always been a big wrestling fan, so WWE, and all the other kind of smaller ones. And I'm just a massive wrestling nerd. But and I kind of knew, or I was aware, that a lot of wrestlers at the time, and still to this day, I think, trained CrossFit. So the likes of Seth Rollins, Becky Lynch, all those kinds of people. And yeah, so basically WWE had this kind of thing. It was like a training camp where they would take kind of like your, not average person, but like a person with no wrestling experience, and try and train them if they thought they were good enough to kind of become professional. So that was kind of my goal, was to try and train to kind of gain muscle mass and gain size and be taken seriously as a professional wrestler. But as you can probably tell, that didn't quite work out. It didn't go that direction. And I think a lot of it is just because, as I said, I got really consumed with CrossFit itself, especially as a sport. And I just kind of forgot about the whole wrestling thing, to be honest. Still love wrestling, but yeah, it just kind of faded out, and CrossFit became the thing. So shortly after that, then I started doing lots of competitions. People will tell you that I would be telling them that nearly every week I was after signing up for this competition, that competition. Sometimes now I wouldn't end up doing half of them, because the reality of doing so many competitions quickly sets in when you're new to it all. But yeah, so I think my first competition ever was the Irish Fitness Championships, which was run by CrossFit Waterford. It was in 2018. I started off in the scales division, and I think I finished maybe in around 14th or 15th out of maybe 20 people, so it wasn't too bad. Obviously, I'm a competitive person, so I wasn't like overly happy with that, but for my first one ever, I was kind of okay with it. So look, that's how I kind of got to this point. Or well, I suppose I should add more onto that, really, shouldn't I? In the sense that, so for the last 6-7 years now, I've been training that CrossFit methodology. And while, new methodologies and philosophies have kind of changed and adapted over the years, it's still fairly CrossFit is what I like to train. Even though we have the emergence of high rocks and tricas and these Spartan races and all these different kind of things, CrossFit is very much my first love when it comes to fitness. So because of that, I suppose it kind of took me a while, a good few years into it anyway. I decided that I wanted to be a coach and, try and make people feel as good as CrossFit made me feel. So like through that training methodology, try and help them on their fitness journey, and just get to know people and help them enjoy the gym. And I wouldn't be expecting everyone to be as passionate and love CrossFit as much as I do, but that's kind of what I wanted to do. I've always been a sporty person, and I was kind of lost in terms of a direction that I wanted to go in life. So I kind of eventually decided I wanted to be a coach, and so did my couple of courses and got qualified in that. And since then, I've been in a good few gyms in Waterford. So from commercial gyms to privately run. Look, I'm kind of doing it more on a part-time basis for now, but I still really love going to the gym and the feeling that you get once you're finished a session, and you just feel kind of on top of the world. And even if you don't necessarily feel 100%, like 1% better is still something when when you have those days and you're just not feeling good, and you still manage to get a session in. That's pretty cool. So yeah, so for right now, I'm kind of working more of like a regular job, more of like a 9 to 5, and then I'm doing the coaching part time. But I still love it, and that's, again, as I said, that's the reason I wanted to create this podcast and talk to people and get ideas and just have fun with it. So so I hope that kind of is a decent explanation as to how I got to where I am today. Amy, do you think I covered that okay? Yeah. Perfect. Even if I didn't, I'm hoping there's going to be a lot more of these episodes as we kind of go along. Amy might not always be here to back me up for some of these episodes, but you'll still see this beautiful face on a more consistent basis. So that's kind of where we're at, or where I'm at for now. So look, I don't want to take up too much time babbling. I want to try and hit as many points as we can and see what we get. So so look, the first one is kind of down as a talking point, and it's kind of written kind of casually, I suppose, but the first point is so once you've kind of gotten into your coaching career, it's why coaching alone isn't enough. And we have kind of different elements written down in terms of finances, in terms of your own personal fulfillment. And then, like PTing is hard by itself. So we're going to try and hit some of those and not take too long on too many of them. So look, I have done personal training for quite a while now, and I really enjoy doing it in person. I'm not a big fan of online coaching, but I see the need for it and the appeal for it as well. But, and even before I go on to the but, I suppose, especially at an entry level, it is quite good for, like, specifically a young person. If they're not, the most confident, it's good to help them come out of themselves a little bit. They get practice talking to people, and because talking to people is a skill. It's not something you're just naturally good at, really. It takes time, takes repetition. So so PTing is good for something like that. So the here comes the but. The but is, financially, I wouldn't say it's the most consistent, stable, secure method of having long-term income. Because people are unpredictable. They can change their minds. They can not take to you as a coach. Sometimes the chemistry is not right. They might not click with you. They might not like the method of training that you believe is going to get them to where they want to be. So things like that can be hard, and for that reason, people can cancel sessions. They might not, as I said, might not be feeling it, and they might not want to work with you. So you could be in a situation where you think you're going to get a good few weeks of a certain amount of income, and then, like, halfway through, it could just be taken away. Now, I know some coaches do, like, they'll make you pay a deposit and all that, and but not everyone does that. As I said, some, like, if you're younger, you might not be aware of all that kind of stuff, so you might just kind of go on a pay as you go basis. So it's not the most sustainable form of income. you could have 10 clients for ages on end, and then all of a sudden you have 3, and then maybe 1, and then you could be down to 0 again. And it's hard because then you question yourself as well, and you kind of doubt yourself. You think, what am I doing wrong, or what could I be doing better? Which can be good as well. It's always good to want to do better and challenge yourself, but it can kind of plant that doubt in your mind sometimes. But yeah, like I think, or from what I have experienced and seen, I could be wrong. From talking to most other trainers and coaches, they a lot of them have told me the same thing, and that's when it comes to personal training, it's not what you want to do forever. I would say to make a consistent amount of income for your future and for years to come, it seems to be that maybe owning your own gym or being involved with a professional team or something like that might be the way to go. And sometimes not even then, because look, nothing in life is guaranteed. Even if you're at the top, sometimes it can just be taken away from you, which is life. So yeah, so that's financially, that's what I would say about personal training. Amy, any thoughts so far? No? Cool. No. Yeah, so again, in terms of fulfillment, is the second one. So fulfillment, what I mean by that is obviously that sense of fulfillment in yourself, that you're contributing to something in the world, and that you're enjoying doing what you're doing, you love doing what you do, and it's something you could do forever. Personal training can sometimes wear you down. Nutrition coaching can sometimes wear you down, because it's never linear. It's never kind of constantly going up and up, like, in terms of like progress. Sometimes like clients regress, and sometimes they quit, or they kind of, they don't have confidence in themselves to continue doing what they're doing, or for one reason or another. And then, as I was saying before, then that could make you doubt yourself, and it can be tough mentally and emotionally in that sense. And look, for me, I suppose personally, I kind of come at it from more of a personal level. Personal training is not what I want to do forever. As much as I love it, as much as I love meeting new people and trying to help them change their life for the better, it's not something that I see myself doing forever, because of those reasons that I mentioned as well. Yeah, so at the moment, I'm kind of in a transitionary phase. I'm not 100% sure what I want to do in the fitness space, but I do want to stay in it, and I do want to get that sense of fulfillment, and really be as much of a success as I can. And if I'm enjoying doing what I'm doing, then great. I just want to be, a good example as well. And look, I'm aware that you'll never fully enjoy like your job, no matter what it is. Like, I'm sure there's always bits, like, even if you do love your job, there's bits of it you're kind of like, oh no, I have to do this bit today. And like, I would even probably throw that over to Amy, in nails and hair. There's probably bits about it you don't like.
Oh yeah, 100%. I feel like there's always going to be parts of a job that you're. Oh, sorry. There's always going to be parts of a job that you like or you don't like, or you definitely prefer over others. Like, so, yeah. Like, I think everyone can kind of relate to that in a sense. Like,
Yeah. What's something about? Is there anything specific about nails or hair you don't like right now, or
not that I can really think of, because like I'm like yourself. Like, I'm kind of like, well, no, because you are doing a little bit more like PT, and that I'd be doing nails and hair and stuff. But it was kind of the same situation for me, that like I tried to make it my full-time career, I guess. I don't know what way to put it. But it just wasn't working out financially, so I kind of had to park that for a little while. But there's nothing I can really think of, to be honest.
That's okay. I'm not looking for anything specific.
Yeah. I don't even think I have a preference like on either or. I just like that whole industry, but I'd say if I really thought about it and got into the nitty gritty of certain things, I probably would find what I don't like.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Right. So, and the kind of last one then on this one is so again, it's kind of more of a personal one for me. It's kind of the wanting of freedom and things like travel and just having options. So, as much as a lot of people may say, well, Johnny, look, that's just life sometimes. I don't like being on someone else's clock. In the sense that, you know, I am so grateful to have a consistent 9 to 5. But I want to be in charge of my own time, because especially at this stage in my life, like I'm not old, but I'm not like young either. Like I'm 30 now. And I do realize that like life is short and that we are here for a very limited amount of time. So I would like to look back on this moment in like 50 years. Hopefully I'll still be here. And be proud that I took charge of my life and I was in charge of the time, and I had that freedom, you know, because, you know, a lot of people are very happy with the 9 to 5, and I'm not putting it down at all. You know, I really think it has its place in the world, and some people are very happy to do it, and that's great. That's fantastic. It's just not for me, you know. And I really hope that doesn't sound pretentious or you know, like I'm too good for it, because I do not believe that whatsoever. I want more, you know, and I don't think that's an unreasonable thing to want. I don't want to be like the rest. I don't want to conform to the status quo. I want to be different, and I want to go levels above, you know, and whatever that looks like, I don't know right now, but I want to figure that out before they put me in the ground. So yeah, so I know that sounds a bit morbid, but that's kind of basically what I'm trying to get at is life is short. I want the ability to travel to places I've never been to before. And, you know, I have been lucky. I've been to a good few places already, but I would like to travel for work. I would like to network with people from other countries. I would like to learn things that I don't know right now. Sorry, my nose is driving me crazy. It's really itchy. Probably a beard hair going up there, or mustache hair going up there or something. Sorry, TMI. But yeah, just trying to look at the notes here, see if there's anything that I've missed. So look, what kind of freedom do you want? That's kind of, I think I kind of touched on that just there. Why do you want it? Again, I hit that. Who do you think has that kind of freedom? That's a very good question, actually. Wasn't one that I came up with. It was ChatGPT. But I think that's actually a very good question. I'm going to throw it back to Amy one more time. Who do you think has that kind of freedom? It can be someone you know, or it can be a celebrity or famous person.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I think it's like people that, like, I wouldn't say necessarily that are famous, but what I would say is probably people who have a lot of money that they can live their lives like this.
Yeah. I suppose, though, they didn't start out with all that money.
No, they didn't. You know, they didn't.
I think most billionaires and trillionaires are people who came from nothing.
Yeah.
So, which is ironic. But yeah, I think I'm going to try and come up with just one person who I think probably has that kind of power, and it'll probably be a famous person, a celebrity. I'll kind of use one that's kind of close to home, and that's someone I follow on YouTube, and that is a man by the name of Craig Ritchie. And Craig Ritchie and his partner Jasmine are the owners of the Hustle Made brand, which are very synonymous in the fitness space. Hope I used the word synonymous correctly. But yeah, look, I've been watching Craig do his vlogs for the past 6-7-ish years. I'm sure he was going a little bit before that as well. It's probably been longer, actually, maybe closer to 10. And Craig is someone who, again, started out with very few followers on YouTube, but was just consistent in what he'd done, uploaded his videos on a weekly to bi-weekly basis, and just, again, as I said, just loved what he did, loved fitness, loved trying to get better all the time in every aspect of his life. Jeez, what was that? And yeah, I think while I'm sure it's stressful running a business, especially one that's become quite successful in recent times, I know they had a bit of a struggle for a while. I think they even said it in one of their videos that they nearly went bankrupt at one stage. But they seem to have really exploded now into the space. But Craig, for that reason, I think Craig has that kind of freedom. He has the freedom to decide what his videos look like. He has the freedom to decide what his brand looks like and what his brand says about him. He has the freedom to try and network with as many people as he can and spend his days trying to come up with ways to improve his business and his videos. And that's someone that I really look up to, and someone that I think has that kind of freedom. And that's what I want. So if you haven't checked out Craig's YouTube before, go check it out. Team Ritchie on YouTube. Yeah, even if you're just looking for something to brighten your day, you'll get a bit of a smile going. So there's other little bits here. We're just coming up nearly half an hour now, but I'll keep going because I think we're kind of getting through these relatively quickly enough. So these are kind of shorter ones. So one is, where do you want to travel to? So I'll keep this short because it's not really a big one. So if I had to pick 3 places that I haven't traveled to that I would like to see, LA would be one. I've been to America a good few times, never been on the West Coast, but I would love to see LA. Just because. Where else would I like to go? I think I will keep it in the grand old United States, and I will go with, I think I'd like to see Vegas. I think Vegas, it's a bit mental. It's a bit like mad. There's stuff going on everywhere. And while I'm not a big gambler, I'm not a big drinker. So neither of those things would really appeal to me, but I'd still like to check it out. It's apparently a really kind of emerging, booming city in America as well at the moment. So people are actually starting to live there. And so that would be cool. I'll try and go outside US, and I'll say, what would be a good place to go? I don't know, somewhere like Barcelona or something. That'd be pretty. I've heard that's a pretty nice city, like very, if you're into architecture and stuff, which I'm not really, but like I can appreciate stuff like that. And yeah, just nice weather, still like kind of close to home for me in terms of it's close to Ireland. So those would be the ones I'd go with. Amy, 3 places?
Oh, I don't know.
1 place?
You
like Paris, don't you? You wanted to go Paris.
Yeah. I can't really think of anywhere now at the top of my head.
That's all right. We'll say Paris for Amy. I think she wants to go to Paris. She just won't say it. So our next one. Why do you want to travel at all? So I think I kind of covered that in terms of, I said, like networking, getting to know people. Where's your favorite place you've been? So as I said, I've been to America plenty of times. Very fortunate to have gotten to see a load of places in America. But I would say my favorite, it's hard to pick a favorite, but I would just kind of go, I'd say it's a toss up between New York and Orlando. Me and Amy had a really great time in New York when we went there 2 years ago. But I would only give the edge to Orlando because of the weather. Like, the weather is just, obviously it's in Florida, it's sunny, it's, and there's a bit more space, you know what I mean? Like, New York is very compact, there's people everywhere. Orlando is kind of very much chilled out and spread out, and, you don't feel like you're claustrophobic. And then, so I'm going to skip to the next page. We're doing pretty well, I think. So one of the next ones is why striving, so striving for more, striving for better, matters to me. And I think there's probably not one specific reason, but as I said, I am someone who likes to try and improve and learn and get better in multiple aspects of my life. But I would say, so both my parents worked the 9 to 5 for nearly 30 plus years. They're still going. And, like, they had to put in the hours. They really had to put in the hours. They did shift work for years. They did overtime. And I wouldn't have said that they struggled necessarily, because we weren't poor, or we were never like rich either. But like they did all that to kind of send me to school and try and get me my education and just kind of give me a good life. And while that was great, and like I'm so thankful they did that. If it was me, I suppose, and I'm looking at it in terms of when I have kids of my own, that like I will not just want to like have enough, I would almost want more than enough. And I know that probably sounds a little bit not selfish, but just like what are you going on about? Like, and I just, again, as I said, we're here for a limited amount of time, and I would like to be as comfortable as possible. I do want to make sure my family is looked after, and I mean my family, Amy, and all my other family, and that we're not just settling for something, or that we will still have to put in the hours, obviously, to get what we want, but I want more, I suppose, is what I'm trying to say. So the next one, and I think it's not even a question, it's kind of almost an answer to why striving matters to me. So I just want to learn more things. I want to be the best version of myself. So that's always something I've kind of taken up since joining the gym, is just being the best version of yourself. You come in, you do your session in the gym, you go to work, you try and be the best version of you in that day. If all you have to give is 40%, then you give the best of that 40% in that day. So next one then, our last one on that point, is about future generations. So I want future generations to know and to believe that there are no limits in life, and that they shouldn't feel like they can. And that kind of probably goes back to when I was younger. Like a lot of kids wanted to be like professional footballers, or they'd always say, I want to play for Man United, I want to play for Liverpool, I want to, and parents would be kind of quickly would be quick to kind of say, but like you kind of have to work really hard at that now, and it's not easy. And while that's true, I felt like some parents would kind of put a negative tone or connotation on it, and yeah, or our parents would say things like, "Oh, my child's going to be a solicitor, my child's going to be a doctor," and almost putting too much pressure then on the child. So like again, look, like no, there's no perfect parent. There's no easy way to do things.
Yeah, it probably just depends on each parent.
Yeah,
as well.
Yeah.
I didn't have that experience growing up. Like whatever you wanted to do, you wanted to do. Like, you know,
Yeah.
There was no discouragement by any means. Like obviously, like I wasn't always in the beauty / hair industry. Like I went to college to do something else, and I loved what I was doing in college. But when I was speaking to my mom like a couple of months ago about going back and going on to do like a degree in what I originally did, she was just like, she said, I don't really think you're going to enjoy a job like that, she said. Which that's a bit different, because it's not like she's saying, no, you can't do it. But she's like, I just don't think a job like that would be suited to you. But like, you see, when I was a child, like, you know, whatever we wanted to do, there was always encouragement, like, but not everyone has the experience too.
Yeah, so it's just me then. Yeah.
I'm not saying it's just you.
Yeah, and look, as Amy said, look, everyone is brought up different, and I think my parents just kind of erred on the side of caution a lot of the time, and would a lot of the time it you know, I mean, would probably feel to me like they were kind of being a bit negative about stuff that I wanted to do, or you know, they'd be kind of not too sure if I'd be suited for things, or if, you know.
I think though as well though, like something we kind of have to, I won't say give credit for, but like, how do I put this? Like your parents and my parents, I suppose, like they did grow up in the same generation. But I suppose maybe they were brought up differently though too, in the sense of like, you know, like your parents have been working since they were how old? Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, like 15.
They've been in the same job, same company for however many years, and there's nothing wrong with that. So they were probably just a little bit like, they just didn't want to see you end up like maybe people they knew of or something like that. Like not,
they didn't want to see me go without.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm trying to get at. Like, you know, whereas like I'd probably go as far as say that my mom and dad, yes, they did grow up in the same generation, but later on in the same generation. And I suppose like my mom and dad's attitude towards like the likes of college and doing what you want to do, it's like, if, you know, yes, you have to put in the work, but if you believe you can do it, you can do it.
Yeah.
Do you know?
Yeah.
But I think that just comes down to like a lot of people's attitudes towards like college and working and whatever and stuff. It's like, what makes you the most money, which I know money like does play a factor, but I think the generation that was a little bit more about like get a job, get that stable income for your family and whatever, whereas now things are obviously different, like, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's all I have to say.
Okay, yeah, no, that totally makes sense. And look, that's why, as I said, I want future generations that come after us, like any children that we may have, that I want them to have that same mindset that, you know, they can achieve anything. You know, at the end of the day, someone has to be a professional athlete, someone has to be a professional musician, someone has to do these things. And if they don't want to do these things, that's totally fine, but they can do anything if they want, except rob banks or, you know, commit fraud. That's not good. So I'm conscious that we're recording on a phone, so the memory seems to be limited. So it kind of pauses from time to time. So we're going to try and speed it up a small bit, and just kind of see what we can get in. So I kind of covered this one already in terms of how I got to where I am. That should have been at the start. I don't know why it's there. So I'll see what's on the final page. So it's kind of wrapping up. So number one, what this podcast will explore. So as I said at the start, I would really like to talk a lot about fitness and CrossFit, high rocks, powerlifting, different sports, soccer, American football, all that kind of stuff, and then just talk about random stuff. What we're streaming on Netflix, what we're doing day to day. In time, I might start doing like a day in the life of vlogs and stuff like that. But I would just want to get comfortable doing this first. So look, I'm hoping that this can go as far as possible, and we can just have fun with it. It doesn't actually even have a name yet, but we'll get there. And I want us to have fun with it, and hopefully you'll come along on this journey with me and whoever else may appear on the couch, and or even we can do it over Zoom or something like that. If I figure out how to use technology correctly. So we still okay with the camera?
Yep.
Yeah. Perfect. So number two then is why I'm doing it now. So again, I think I touched on that. Life's short. I don't want to wait any longer. There's no perfect time to do these things. I'm sure I will fail. I'm sure I will make mistakes in certain elements. And I'm hoping that in like 1,000 episodes time, I can look back on this and go, wow, that really wasn't great. But, like kudos for actually throwing yourself in the deep end and trying, because it's not easy for anyone to put yourself out on social media, on YouTube, and be very open to criticism, because that, you will get that, because there's just negative people in the world who just want to bring you down. And
but as well, there's people who want to see you improve.
Yes, exactly. Yes, good point. Very good point. There's people who want to see you improve, and sometimes you don't always get loads of time to spend with friends or with family, and again, this might be a way that they can connect with me or with you, or and feel like they're coming along on this journey with me and with Amy and with whoever else we might get on here at some stage, and once we kind of get comfortable with doing it. So I'm going to try and do this on a weekly basis. As I said, Amy might not always be behind the camera, might not always be here. But
a busy woman.
She's a busy woman. She got a lot going on. Sabrina Carpenter, busy
mama.
woman. Yeah. So yeah, full-time mama. So yeah. But look, I'm still gonna try my best to bring you as much entertainment and sprinkle some knowledge in there, hopefully from time to time. And yeah, look, just have fun with it. There's no pressure to do anything specific right now. And then yeah, look, I suppose the last one then is kind of more of like a little quote. It's like so I cut out. So the last bit is more of like an invitation to you guys, so that if this resonates with you, if you may be watching wherever you are around the world, if you like the things that I've said, if you're, if you understand what I'm trying to get at, then you guys are my people, and I hope that you will come along with me on this journey, so that, as I said, in 1,000 episodes time, potentially more, we can be looking back on this going, wow, that was killer. Like that was, it wasn't perfect, but like we really threw ourselves into it and tried as hard as we could, and now we're here, wherever here is. I don't know. But yeah, look, guys, we're coming up on like 45 minutes now, which is really good. I wasn't sure how long we were going to get, and I'm not sure every episode is going to be that long, or it might be shorter, it might be longer. Probably going to have to use something else other than the phone in time, just because of the memory on it. But yeah, look, if you liked what you saw, if you liked what you heard, throw us a like, subscribe to the channel. First time saying that sounds cool. But yeah, I don't really have much of a catchy outro right now, but from me and from Amy behind the camera, thank you very much, and we will see you in the next one.